Hello and welcome to another episode of our Twisted Story. Please subscribe, like, or share the video, as your support give us strength to delve more into our dark mind to write another one. And just like usual, this episode was inspired by our 2-sentence horror story, so sit back, relax, and turn off the light to listen a fun and light-hearted story about children happiness when they found their hilarious imaginary friend turns to something else. Jacob had always been a playful child. Hide-and-seek was his favourite game, especially with his imaginary friend Max. Whenever I would watch him play, I would hear him chattering away to his invisible companion, sharing secrets and laughter as if he were real. As a single mother, I took comfort in knowing that my son had found such a vivid way to combat loneliness. It seemed harmless. Max was, according to Jacob, a little boy just like him. They had their rules, their favourite hiding spots, their secret handshake. Jacob would spend hours with Max, playing in the yard, exploring the nearby woods, and sometimes just lying on his bed talking to the air. I indulged him. Sometimes I even played along, pretending to see Max, pretending to care about their childish games. After all, it was only a phase. But as the months turned into years, Max didn't go away. Instead, Jacob seemed like to pretend that his imaginary friend became more real, more present and more demanding. The first signs of trouble were subtle. Jacob began to act out, becoming more aggressive and defiant. He started to draw pictures of Max, not as a friendly little boy, but as something twisted, something dark. "He's mad at me," Jacob would say, his eyes wide with fear. "I didn't play hide and seek yesterday. Max doesn't like to play alone." I dismissed it as a childhood whim, but the feeling of unease grew. Max's rules became stricter, his demands more exacting. Jacob began to lose sleep, to lose weight, to lose himself in this game that had once been so innocent. One night I found Jacob in his room, his face pale, his body shaking. "Max found a new hiding place," he whispered, tears in his eyes. Inside me, I didn't understand. I didn't want to understand. But I knew that something was horribly wrong. Jacob's behaviour deteriorated rapidly. He became withdrawn, speaking only to Max, obeying only Max's rules. His drawings grew more and more disturbing, filled with images of violence, of darkness, of fear. I sought professional help, but they were baffled. They saw a troubled child, a broken family, but they didn't see Max. They didn't hear his whispers, his threats, his laughter. Only Jacob did. Only I did. The days turned into a nightmare. Jacob was no longer my son, no longer the joyful boy who had loved hide and seek. He was a prisoner, trapped in a game that had no end, controlled by a force that I couldn't see, couldn't touch, couldn't fight. I tried everything, therapy, medication, even exorcism, but nothing worked. Max was too strong, too clever, too real, and then, one day, Jacob was gone. Not physically. He was still there, his body still alive, but his eyes were empty, his voice a monotone, his soul lost. "I won," he told me, his voice devoid of emotion. "Your son is lose. The game is over." And I knew then that I had lost him to a darkness that I couldn't comprehend, couldn't defeat. The house is quiet now, filled with memories, with shadows, with regret. Jacob is there, but not there, a shell of the child he once was. Max is there too, hidden, silent, victorious. I sit in Jacob's room, looking at the drawings, the symbols, the signs that I had ignored, that I had dismissed as a child's fantasy. I had been wrong. So terribly wrong. The game was real. The stakes were real. The loss was real. I lost my son to a game, to an imaginary friend, to a darkness that I still can't understand. The story ends, but the pain remains. A constant reminder of my failure, of my ignorance, of a love that was taken, and a game that was lost. The hiding place was found, but the cost was too high. And now all that's left is silence, emptiness, and a mother's broken heart. But one day, I swear I will bring my son back. Just you wait and see.